Okay, it's 2 o'clock and we're going to start. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Simon Eddles, the Sales Director here at Travel Bulletin, and it's a real pleasure to welcome you to the first in a series of Travel Bulletin virtual training events. This one is a Far East webinar. We're delighted to be joined by three amazing suppliers today. So let me firstly introduce everyone. I need them all to turn on their videos and turn on their sound to make sure they're all unmuted. Firstly, it's hello to Betsie Barr, Trade Manager of Amazing Thailand. Give us a wave, Betsie.
Hi everyone, thanks Simon for having us. Welcome everyone, hope you're all well.
Okay, so we also have the Head of Travel Trade Marketing for the Japan National Tourism Organization. Please welcome Yumi Takakubo. Please welcome Yumi. Give us a wave, Yumi. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, finally, Jane's already said hello because she's out there and in our face, which is great. This is Jane West from Tourism Fiji. Give us a wave, Jane.
Hello, everybody.
That's Bulla from us as well. Okay, so for everyone who's joining us today, the plan is that each supplier will give a 10-minute training session. When you have questions based on the training session, but also any questions based around anything you've learned about the destination, then we'd like you to sort of enter those questions via our Q&A facility. And then we'll have a live 15-minute Q&A session at the back end of today's webinar. So we'll try and get through as many questions as we can. So please take a note of those and get them into us. We also have some amazing prizes up for grabs too. An Amazon voucher that we're giving away after each separate training webinar. So they can be won instantly. When I say instantly, we'll send them to you. Obviously, we don't win them sort of magically, I deliver them. So we'll get each presenter to give a gift away as well at the end of the session as well. And we're going to use the chat functions for the prizes. So to win those things as well. So we're going to get the competition going at the end of everything, and then you'll be able to enter that online as well. So us now, those of us on screen, we need to close our videos and mute ourselves now because Betsie is going to give her amazing training session. So please listen carefully to Amazing Thailand.
Welcome everyone, my name is Betsie. I'm the Trade Manager here at Tourism Authority of Thailand. And over the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to be giving you an overview of the destination, giving you some unique selling points about the country and some sample itinerary ideas for you as well. So let's get started with some facts and figures. So Thailand is the same size as France and has a population of around 69 million people. There's three main seasons throughout the year. We have the cool season between November and February, the hot season between March and May, and then the green season between June and October. So some people would call that the rainy season. We like to call it the green season purely because when you say rainy season, especially to people in the UK, you'll often think of this drizzly, dark rain that kind of goes on forever. Whereas in Thailand, like a lot of other hot countries, the rain comes in short, sharp bursts and is over very quickly. Also, if you're visiting the north of Thailand, which typically is the jungle region of the country anyway, actually going at the green season is a really great time to go because it's when the wildlife will all be out and the scenery will just be amazing at that time of year. 95% of Thai people are Buddhist, and this not only comes across in the architecture, so lots of temples dotted throughout the country, but also in the temperament of the Thai people. So very warm, welcoming and spiritual people. You need to have at least 6 months in your passport to travel, and you don't need a visa if you're traveling for less than 30 days. And 72% of people who visit Thailand are repeat visitors. So what makes people come back to Thailand time and time again? And why is Thailand so unique in that sense? Well, we've got these amazing contrasting landscapes. So we've got the beaches in the south, some really remote islands, and really some of the best coastlines in the world. Then you head to the north of Thailand, and this really is where the jungle meets the mountain. So much cooler climate in the north, very, very green, and an abundance of wildlife, nature, and adventure activities on offer. You contrast that then with the concrete jungle of Bangkok. So high skyscrapers, very busy, lots to do. And all three of these landscapes together really does tie well into a really nice itinerary, especially for a first-time visitor. And that can be done quite comfortably in 2 weeks. So really that is what we recommend for first-time visitors to Thailand. Make sure you have all three landscapes in your itinerary. We then have the luxury experiences. So for some people, that will be an amazing dining experience at the top of one of the Bangkok skyscrapers, or paying a little bit extra for a room upgrade or a really exclusive accommodation. So the example top right here are the treehouse villas in Koh Yao Noi in the south. But then for some people, it will be just having an enriching experience. So not necessarily paying more money, but actually doing a homestay with a local family, for example, or visiting a local village and learning about the culture. So the group bottom right here are making palm leaf hats in Ban Nam Chau in Trat. We then have the culture and history. So as I mentioned, temples really are in abundance throughout the country. There's around 35,000 of them. So you'd be kind of hard pushed to go to Thailand and not see one when you're there. But we really do recommend seeing a few different ones when you're on holiday, because you do have to actually go and visit them to get the sense of how much time and effort has gone into not only building these amazing structures, but upkeeping them as well. They really are fascinating, and they often have a lot of stories to tell as well. So a lot of the carvings on the outside will tell stories of the Buddha and of the religion and their culture. And then heading into central Thailand, just a short while out of Bangkok city, we have some really key historic sites of Thailand. So including Ayutthaya and Kanchanaburi. So famous for sites such as the bridge on the River Kwai and the Death Railway, so the Burma Railway, where nearly 100,000 people lost their lives. So a lot of people do come to Thailand to visit Kanchanaburi, for example, purely to pay their respects for the lives lost during the railway construction. And we then have spa and wellness. So a lot of destinations do that spa holiday experience really well. But Thailand is very unique in the fact that wellness is intertwined into the DNA of the Thai people. So I think unlike in the UK, getting a massage is often considered a bit of a luxury, often reserved for special occasions like anniversaries and birthdays. In Thailand, actually getting a massage is part of parcel of the weekly routine. So when you're on holiday in Thailand, getting a Thai massage for yourself is a really great way for you to experience Thai culture firsthand. And then the cuisine. So British people do love the Thai cuisine. We know that. There's over 2,000 Thai restaurants in the UK now. But actually going and tasting it for yourself in the country is really interesting to see the variations that you get as you move throughout the country. So in the north, a lot more of the fresh spices used, with it being surrounded by farmland, versus the south, a lot more of the dry spices, with it being much hotter, and also much higher use of coconut milk and seafood as well. You then head to central Thailand and in Bangkok, and it really is a culmination of all influences from around the country and from around the world as well. And recommend when you're in Bangkok is go and visit J Phi, and this is a street food vendor that has a Michelin star. And that kind of tells you everything you need to know about eating in Thailand. You can pay a little bit more for that amazing dining experience, or you can pay a very, very cheap price for a meal and still probably have one of the best dishes you've ever tasted in your life. And then our final and our main unique selling point is the people. So this is the main thing that comes up when we ask people why they love Thailand. They tell us that it's the welcome that they get when they enter the country. So all the way through from the airport staff to the hoteliers and generally the people they meet along the way. I think if you go on holiday to Thailand with an open mind and you're willing to learn about the culture, you really will get a very, very enriching experience from your time in Thailand. So we are finding that there is a growing demand for that authentic holiday experience. So whether that's avoiding the crowds, getting off the beaten track, meeting with local people. And I think this is going to be even more relevant now and in the next coming months, more than it ever has been, because a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of you listening today will as well, have been attending a lot of webinars where everyone is trying to guess the future of travel post-COVID-19. It's all complete speculation. None of us really know just yet. But one thing that we are expecting to happen is that people might be a little bit hesitant to travel to the busy cities and the busy tourist attractions right away. So actually being able to sell the lesser known parts of the country is going to be really key in the coming months. So we've come up with a concept that we call the hub and hook. And this is where we pair a well-known primary destination like Bangkok with an emerging secondary destination like Kanchanaburi. And the idea being, if you're trying to sell Kanchanaburi on its own, you are giving your client that really authentic experience, but it might be received as a little bit, they might be a bit nervous about it because they've never heard of it before maybe. They don't have any friends that they can ask for advice because they don't know anyone who's been there before. However, if you compare it with a really well-known area like Bangkok, you could almost sell it as a day trip if you wanted to. Say it's 2.5 hour drive from the city centre. Go in the morning, come back in the evening. You're actually able to give your client that really authentic experience, but suddenly the itinerary seems a lot more attainable. So normally at this point in the presentation, I would go through each of these regions in a little bit more detail, but as we're a little bit more strict on time today, if anyone wants some more info about any of these regions or any other regions, please do just drop me an email and I can get that over to you. So just wanted to show you our online training very quickly. So this is called Thailand Expert. And if you're not already a member, please do register. You just have to put your email address in and create a password. When you do, you get access to all of our events, news, webinar, features, industry offers information, and lots of other things. And our training on here as well is 8 different modules, which take about 2 hours to complete in total, but it's drop in, drop out. So you can do one module one day, do another module 2 weeks later if you wanted to. Each module is broken down into bite-sized sections, really easy sort of to read and easy to consume, and it's interspersed with video content and imagery throughout as well. At the end of each module, there is a multiple choice test to take, and once you've passed all of the modules, you are then awarded your Thailand Expert certificate. So for those of you who are newly registering this month, you are all being entered into a prize draw to win £100 Love to Shop vouchers. So good luck everyone with that. And then final thing to show you is our Safety and Health Administration. So this is brand new from TAT, from our head office. And this is basically a certification that Thai businesses can now apply for to show that they're demonstrating high health and safety standards. So why am I showing you this? Well, lots of businesses can apply to be certified, and that includes accommodation, restaurants, attractions, and shops. And I'm showing you this purely because if you've got clients who are a little bit nervous to go to Thailand because they're worried about contracting COVID-19 when they're there, actually being able to sell them hotels that are fully accredited on this website might be the final push that you need to secure the booking. So if anyone wants a little bit more detail about this, please do drop me a note. I can send the presentation over to you, and then you can click on this URL shown here, and that will take you to the website, which has all of our accredited businesses listed on there. So just quite useful, especially within times we're in now. It might give you that last push to secure your booking. And then finally, just some useful links for you. So we've got Thailand Expert is our online training. Fan Club Thailand is our consumer website. So on here we have lots of articles with itinerary ideas for Thailand. Also have some fun like Muay Thai boxing videos and breathing exercise videos as well. So you can use this for sharing content on your own websites and your own social media channels as well if you want to. And then finally, my email address. So if you want any more information about anything we've covered today or completely different stuff about Thailand, please do get in touch. I'm here to help. So yeah, don't hesitate to contact me. Okay, thank you everyone for listening, and I will catch up with you soon.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Betsy. That was a really interesting presentation. I hope you were all listening carefully, as you now have the opportunity to win our first prize. Based on what you've just learned from Betsy's presentation, this is a spot prize. And for this one, I'm going to ask you to use the chat function. So down at the bottom on your screen, you'll see the chat function, and then get ready to answer the question. It's really simple, really straightforward, and it's from the presentation you just seen. So what is the name? This is the question. What is the name of Tourism Authority of Thailand's e-learning platform? What is the name of their e-learning platform? On the chat function, please, not the Q&A, on chat, please. On chat, what is the name of the Tourism Authority of Thailand's e-learning platform? Right, have we got any coming in? Let me have a look down. Come on, people, you've got to be sending them in. We've got apparently the chat function is actually not working, so we're going to stop using that and use the Q&A. Can you use the Q&A section, please, and put in your answer? The question is, what is the Tourism Authority of Thailand's e-learning platform called? What is it called? Oh, we have a winner. We have a winner. I hope you're there. Teresa Kelly. Thailand expert is the correct answer. Teresa Kelly. Well done, Teresa. Thank you ever so much for playing the game. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Suddenly there's 125 of you playing, so that's fantastic. I'm sorry about the chat function not working. We are on Q&A for that as well. So we'll go back. There'll be another one after your next presentation. So well done again. It's now time for the Japan National Tourism Organization presentation. So without further ado, let's go with Yumi's presentation. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for watching the Japan webinar. Japan is becoming a popular leisure destination, but there are many travel professionals who are not sure about the country yet. So today, we want to tell you how easy it is to explore Japan. First of all, as of June 2020, there is still no entry to Japan due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are following official guidelines, and life in Japan is gradually getting back to normal. In the world of tourism, we rebuild domestic travel first, then focus on international travel. We hope this will happen very soon. For the latest development, please visit our website. Let's start the Japan webinar with a quiz. Do you know how many tourists visit Japan from the UK in 2019? A. 400,000, B. 200,000, or C. 100,000? The correct answer is A. As you can see from the graph, the number of tourists from the UK has been steadily increasing year by year. In 2019, we achieved a remarkable figure, hosting the Rugby World Cup. It was a historical record for Japanese tourism, as well as for the amount of beer consumed. Regarding the profile of tourists, there are more men than women. For men, a wide range of age groups from there in their 20s to 50s. On the other hand, women are mostly in their 20s. Most of them travel to Japan as a pair and stay for 7 to 20 days. This length is also standard for a Japan package tour and a tailor-made itinerary by UK tour operators. The travel booking is often completed 3 to 6 months before departure. Here is a result of asking the general consumers, what do you want to do in Japan? Previously, people tended to visit shrines and temples, but now Japanese food is the most popular reason. It is followed by relaxation, nature, art and traditional pursuits, then city breaks. The distance from London to Tokyo is 5,950 miles, and the flight takes about 12 hours. Yes, it is long distance, but you will land on another world, one that you've never experienced before. Currently, Japan is 8 hours ahead of the UK. Japan does not have daylight saving time. The official language in Japan is Japanese. We study English as part of our compulsory education for at least 6 years, but we rarely use it in our daily life. By the way, do you know how to say thank you in Japanese? It is arigatou. Here is a comparison of the temperature and rainfall between Japan and the UK. Japan has a broader temperature range and creates the distinctive four seasons. You may be surprised that there is more rainfall in Japan. It is because of the rainy season and typhoons. So when is the best time to visit Japan? The cherry blossom season in March and April, and the autumn colors in October and November. Departures for group trips are concentrated during this period. Unfortunately, high demand means high travel costs. On the contrary, which month is it when the climate is unstable and may cause discomfort for travelers? It could be June, when it is mostly raining. From July to September, we experience a very hot summer with high humidity of over 30 degrees. Typhoons also occur in the summer to early autumn. Winter arrives in December. It is cold like the UK. From mid-January to February, we have sunny bright days in Japan when the cost of travel, also the number of tourists, are the lowest. Direct flights from Heathrow Airport to Tokyo are operated by All Nippon Airways, British Airways, and Japan Airlines. British Airways also fly to Osaka Kansai Airport. There are many indirect services via Europe and UAE. Narita Airport is located in the suburbs of Tokyo, so traveling into Tokyo will take 90 minutes. Haneda is located in Tokyo and you can reach the city center within 30 minutes. Frequent train and bus connections are available. We recommend train travel in Japan. Bullet trains and local trains go to every corner of the country. A reliable, punctual service means your holiday itinerary will remain unchanged. The average delay time per train is 36 seconds. For train journey, get the Japan Rail Pass. Foreign visitors can enjoy the discounted pass, which is eligible for nearly all services of the extensive JR transportation network. Please recommend this very useful app to your clients. Japan Official Travel App is provided by JNTO, delivering up-to-date information about traveling in Japan for a safe and comfortable journey. It contains a train timetable too. As for the itinerary, visiting Tokyo, Hakone, and Kyoto's Golden Route is a popular choice for first-timers. You see and experience a wide variety of foods, nature, tradition, towns, and cities. First is Tokyo, the capital of Japan. It is the center of the economy and is lined with skyscrapers. On sunny days, you can see Fujisan, the iconic Japanese mountain visible high above the buildings. This modern city produces cutting-edge technology and culture. Although it is a city, there are many shrines and temples. For instance, Sensoji Temple in Asakusa and the Meiji Shrine in Harajuku. Even if you only stay in Tokyo, you can experience much Japanese history and tradition. Tokyo is a city filled with a variety of fun, which was once described as a toy box that everyone can enjoy. Hakone is a place where you can take a break from the excitement of Tokyo. It is surrounded by mountains and Lake Ashi in the Izu-Hakone National Park area. You will see rising volcanic steam and can relax with a mineral-rich hot spring bath generated from it at a Japanese-style accommodation. In Kyoto, step back in time as you explore historic castles, temples, beautiful gardens, and taste the area's refined cuisine. Visit Kyoto's bustling city center to shop for traditional handicrafts, or hopefully spot the real geisha or maiko. Use the convenient underground and bus system to explore the ancient city. We recommend to experience traditional Japanese culture and hospitality at a Japanese-style accommodation, ryokan. Most of them offers great meals, onsen hot spring baths, and elegant rooms. Try the cotton kimono dress and sleep on a futon bed. For one day, you become Japanese. Japan, which is popular with high-end travelers, have a good selection of international and Japanese luxury hotels and ryokans. You can choose according to your client's various requirements. In addition to all these attractions, we will welcome you with the best hospitality and the warmest, kindest service under the sun. We look forward to welcome you to Japan. Thank you for your time. This is the end of the webinar. I hope it was helpful. Please try our Japan online training at www.japantravel-ott.com to increase your knowledge. We will give gifts to those who have completed it. So good luck. We are Japan National Tourism Organization, London office. Please contact us for any travel inquiries. Thank you again. ありがとう.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Yumi. That was fantastic. We all know an awful lot more about Japan now. Okay, so everyone watching and listening, we're going to try again with the chat function. Obviously, everyone except Teresa, who won the first one, try and have an answer to this one. Obviously, Teresa, you can enter, but I may well not pick you. But so here's another spot prize. Use your chat function, please. If it doesn't work, we'll revert back to the Q&A one, but the chat function should work this time. It's another £10 Amazon voucher. Please answer this question. It was all in the video in front we just did. So, which famous mountain, name the famous mountain that on a clear day is visible from Tokyo? My goodness, they're all coming in. By the way, we had over 100 answers to the previous one. We've now already got over 70 on this one, which is absolutely awesome. Right, I'm going to scroll through them, and yeah, it looks like so many people have got them right. And I'm going to pick one, and the winner is Paul Smith. Paul Smith is the winner. Well done, Paul Smith. Famous clothes and now famous travel agency name. So please, congratulations to Paul Smith. Well done to Paul. The answer was Mount Fuji. So well done. Awesome. And arigato back to you, Paul, as well. Awesome. So, okay. Our third and final presentation now is coming up from Tourism Fiji. And then we'll have our live Q&A session. Please remember to get involved in that if you can do. If you've got any questions, please keep them coming in. Anything from obviously the recent one we just did on Japan, but also on the previous one on Thailand, and obviously anything that you want to ask a question on from Jane's presentation, which we're about to have on Fiji. So please welcome Jane West's presentation and watch and learn. Thank you.
Hello and Bulla, I'm Jane West from Tourism Fiji, and I'm here to tell you about Fiji in the South Pacific, home to the most hospitable, friendly and happy people. Fiji Airways is our award-winning national carrier, and it has codeshare agreements with British Airways, Finnair, Qatar, Air New Zealand, Cathay Pacific, Singapore Airlines, Qantas and American Airlines. So whilst Fiji's most well known for a stopover with Australia and New Zealand, which can be reached with only a few hours, you can also go on to Fiji from a stay in Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, Hawaii, San Francisco and Los Angeles. Fiji Airways recently added a 350 to its fleet, which will operate on the Los Angeles and Sydney route when flying completely resumes. And Fiji Link, our domestic carrier, is also part of Fiji Airways. Now, Fiji is an archipelago of 333 islands. 100 of them are inhabited. And we like to say that the climate's perfectly warm all year round. The driest time to travel, when it's less humid, would be between May and October. Now, we have two main towns, cities in Fiji. Of course, buildings are not higher than palm trees. Suva is our main capital, which is about 3.5 hours from the town of Nadi and Nadi International Airport, where visitors generally arrive. So Nadi is on the west coast of Viti Levu, our main island, and is easily accessible to Denarau Marina, from where the boats to the Mamanuca and Yasawa Islands operate. But you can also travel from our domestic terminal at Nadi International to other islands within the Fiji group. The time difference from Fiji to the UK is 12 hours ahead, and we have the Fijian dollar as our currency, around 2 to 3 Fijian dollars to the pound. It's very affordable to eat and drink, and it's also a very safe country to visit. We export the water all over the world. Now, we also are the only country in the world that has a $7 note to commemorate Fiji's famous win in the rugby sevens at Rio Olympics. Now, getting around is very easy. Viti Levu and Vanua Levu both have sealed roads right around them, and in Viti Levu they're known as the King and Queen's Highway, and in Vanua Levu it's known as the Hibiscus Highway. So you can get around in private taxis, private vehicles with ground handlers, or indeed the local buses. You can also travel out to the islands or different areas of Fiji by helicopter or seaplane, which offer a very scenic journey. And you can travel by cruise boat up to the Yasawa Islands. Captain Cook also offers itineraries out to the Lau Group and the Northern Islands. You can charter a boat. You can also charter private sea taxis, but otherwise very good catamaran services that operate in the Mamanuca Islands in particular. Now, Fiji topographically is incredibly beautiful. It is mountainous, lots of rivers and lots of adventure. It has a living culture, but of course most well known for its beautiful beaches. So there's lots to do in Fiji, and the key islands are Viti Levu, Vanua Levu, Taveuni Island, Kandavu and Benga. Now, the different island groups of the Mamanuca and Yasawas are arguably the most popular in terms of island resorts, and the Lau group that you can see here on the east can only be reached by cruise ship with Captain Cook 3 times a year, or indeed by weekly flight from Nadi. But otherwise the other islands are connected either by Fiji Link or other domestic carriers locally, and indeed overnight ferries to some of the larger ones. But if you stay in Fiji, it's really recommended, if you're staying between 5 and 11 nights, which is typically the case from the UK, that you might combine either Viti Levu or the Northern Islands, or indeed, further down Kandavu and Benga with, an island resort or cruising. If you're a diver, you might spend 15 days and you might do a 3-centre. So do your research on Fiji.travel, determine your budget, your length of stay, what do you like to do in Fiji, and we're here to help you if you still need a bit more support in how best to combine it. Port Denarau, close to Nadi International. Nadi is actually surrounded by the mountains of the Sleeping Giant, and Port Denarau has a dry dock for different yachts. It also has a super yacht marina, and also where all the catamarans go from. It's also the location for a number of brand resorts, all of which are very spacious and surrounded by an 18-hole golf course, one of a few in Fiji. Things to do around the Nadi area would be visiting the Gardens of the Sleeping Giant with an orchid collection. You can do a cookery school, and you can visit the largest Hindu temple in the Southern Hemisphere. For me, I love to go to the Nadi market. This is really where local life happens. Further down on what we call the Coral Coast, which is about 1.5 hours, 2 hours south of Nadi by road, you can go on the Eco Track Safari, which is on an old sugar train track. You can also raft, river rafting, tubing or going on a jet boat up to the highlands and visiting villages. You can, if you're brave enough, go for a run on the Singatoka sand dunes where the Rugby Sevens train. And not for the faint-hearted, but a must-do for divers would be the Benga Marine Reserve in Pacific Harbour, where you can do a shark feed. Firewalking is also something not to be missed in Fiji, and this comes from Benga Island. Many people also like to visit Fiji for volunteering, and a little known fact in Fiji is you can also do trekking. So getting around the Mamanuthas will take between 20 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on the location of the island. Most of these islands are characterised by being quite boutique. Some are family run, but you can find 3-star, 4-star and 5-star islands within this area. But also, if you're just on a short stay in Nadi, you can do some small island trips for half a day or a full day. You can go to Tavua Island, and you can also visit Cloud 9, which is close to the Cloud Break surfing area, and also you can visit the Mala Mala Beach Club. Now, the Mamanutha Islands are quite iconic. They were used in Love Island, the first series, and also was the backdrop for Tom Hanks's Castaway film. Here we have Matamanoa Island and the Liku Liku Lagoon Resort, but you'll also find many others, including Six Senses, which is a new addition to this island group and is the only resort in the world that's 100% solar-powered. Six Senses. Further up in the Asawa Islands, which is a 4 to 5 hour sail or half an hour by seaplane or helicopter. You can cruise with Captain Cook or Blue Lagoon Cruises, which offer excellent 3 to 5 day itineraries, which travel to different islands and offer a very high degree of culture as well. You can also visit the Sawa Ilau Caves, the Blue Lagoon Caves, and my personal favourite would be swimming with the manta rays. Now, if you want to dive or visit somewhere much sleepier and more lush, we've got the beautiful National Heritage Park in Taveuni, but it's also home to the International Date Line, where you can put 1 foot in today and 1 foot in yesterday. And really, this region, Vanuatu and Taveuni, is where you will enjoy some of the best soft coral and fan diving in the world. It's one of the top 10 locations to do so. Now, Fiji, I mentioned a strong culture, and not to be missed if you're privileged enough to be invited and visit a village. You might be invited by the elder to share some kava, and this is made from the root of a tree related to the pepper tree. It's ground into a powder and made into a drink which is served ceremoniously in a coconut shell, and it marks every important occasion in Fiji. And now I'm going to show you a little video about the brilliant people of Fiji and more to do.
There is a place in the heart of the Pacific where people greet each other with life, happiness, and good health. Where Mbula is more than just hello, but a feeling buried in the soul of every Fijian. To care for our family and neighbors, find humor where there is little, and hope in uncertain times. Mbula is in our DNA. We love to share it with you, and it is yours to share too. For now, we must be apart, but when you're ready, we'll be here, just like always, waiting to share our home with you again.
So thanks for listening. So whether you're a backpacker, travelling on from Australia or New Zealand after visiting friends and relatives, you're a honeymooner, the Fiji has a lot to enjoy. There's lots of diversity and experiences for you to enjoy, but it's nearly always about the people that brings us back and back. So if you'd like to find out a bit more about Fiji, then please look at fiji.travel. Most of our videos are on YouTube, Tourism Fiji, but please do sit the online training for more detailed information, the martai.fiji.travel, and this will give you the opportunity to enter the prize draw and win some of our super prizes. Vinaka Vakalevu, thank you.
Thank you, Jane. That was a great deal of fun. It looks like an awesome destination. So I hope you're all planning a way to either get there or get your clients there, more importantly. So we've got another spot prize for you now. It's another Amazon £10 voucher that you can win. We're using the chat function again because it did work well last time. So not pens at the ready. What am I talking about? Get your tapping fingers ready to put your answers in. Let's see if we can beat 100 that we had on the first one. So we've got someone answering, trying to second guess what the question is. Unfortunately, that's not the question, but good effort. Okay, so here we go with the final spot prize question. Kava in Fiji is not the same as the sort of kava you might get from Spain or in your local supermarket here. But more importantly, what are you likely to be drinking it from? What are you likely to be drinking it from? Or when they're flooding in, here we come. We're going to beat the 100. We're up to 35 already. I feel as I'm a horse racing commentator now. But anyway, we'll move beyond that. We're over 70. Come on, come on. What do you like to be drinking kava from in Fiji? It's spelled with a K. What do you like to be drinking it from? We're up to 87. Come on, we can do it. We're just about to get there now. So I'm going to scroll through. We're well over 90. So here we go. And the winner. My goodness, you're all good. You're all watching carefully, which is fantastic. Okay. So many people here. Okay. Let's look. Let's go to. And the winner is. The answer was coconut or coconut shell. And the winner is Fiona Bateman. Fiona Bateman, you're a winner. Someone will make a note just so that you know all our spot prize winners will be getting their vouchers by email later this afternoon. So well done to everyone for taking part in that. That was a great deal of fun. So yeah, we had well over, well, around about 100 there again. So that's awesome. Okay. We're now going to be starting our Q&A session, which is a great deal of fun as well. So I've got some questions ready, but I now need to welcome back our wonderful suppliers. So let's say hello again to Betsie, Yumi, and Jane. Give me a wave, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Come on, Jane. There we are. She's back. Oh no, she's gone again. It was too much. It's taken it out of you, Jane, obviously doing that presentation.
It was blocked somehow. Welcome back, everyone.
Okay, well, we're all back now. So I've got some great stuff that we've had coming in from our, we've had well over 150 people watching, which is really, really good.
Wow.
So we'll start again now. And I'm going to start with some we've had. George Singh. Is very keen and has been taking part and has asked lots of questions. George, I can't ask all of your questions, but one of the first ones you put to Betsie was, I think, something that we didn't cover in any great detail in terms of the presentation, so a good one to start with. Can you give us some idea of some good places for diving in Thailand?
Yes, so there's lots, and the south of Thailand is actually a huge area. So you've got lots of choices in terms of sort of off the mainland of Thailand or some of the more remote islands as well. So we do actually have an article on our consumer website, which is fanclubthailand.co.uk, which breaks down all of our favourite ones. So do make sure you have a look at that when you get a chance. But just to sort of name a few, in and around Koh Samui in the Gulf of Thailand side, there's lots of really amazing diving sort of options, and you can just do that as boat trips from Koh Samui Island. One of them is called Sail Rock, which is near to Koh Tao. But there's also some really lovely options on the sort of Phuket side, so Andaman Coast side. So yeah, there's lots, and I suppose it kind of depends what kind of diving holiday you're looking for, and if you want to tag it onto a beach resort as well, so maybe sort of a busy experience as well as the diving. So I definitely recommend having a look at our website, Fan Club Thailand, and kind of breaking it down from there is probably the easiest way to go.
Okay, that's great. Thank you ever so much. Next one, I've got one in, and again, I know, Yumi, you can't give an awful lot of detail on this because I know it's something that you're waiting to hear back from the powers that be in terms of their definition of it. But can you give us any update, a little bit of an update in terms of the Olympics?
Olympics, because the COVID-19 pandemic, it's postponed. And we are not part of the Olympic committee, so we can't really give you the official release from us. But they are concerning rethinking about the new dates. It's about next year, the same time in summertime. I hope it's going on, but not at the moment.
That was. Thank you for that. That was from Denise Bent, by the way, that question. As well, I know there's Amanda Murphy's sort of come back to us and asked for a trade UK email address for you as well, which I know will be on your presentation. And just so that everyone who's here, I know we're getting questions in about this as well. If you want any detail, all the presentations will be on our website as part of a recorded version of this particular webinar. So you can go in and access anything that's on there if you didn't make a note of it at the time. So go back and revisit, and also it'll enable you to gen up on anything else that you might have missed first time round as well. Okay, in terms of other questions, I've got too many of them, which is, well, it's a good thing to have. I don't know whether Jane, I've got one for you as well here. How accessible are the islands of Fiji for customers with disabilities? Before you answer, I do apologize. I've got to give people's names. That was from Paula Hansen. So how accessible are the islands in terms of customers with disabilities?
Hi, Paula. Thanks for that question. Yeah, it's a really good one, actually. So I think one of the greatest challenges that you do need 2 flights to get there. So my recommendation is always to stop over and not try and do it all in one go. Travel as comfortable as you can on the way. Once you get there, actually it's a lot easier than people imagined. Most of the rooms are very big, doorways are quite wide, and you do get a lot of help from local staff in terms of getting around. But I would probably suggest going for a global brand recognized resort. You can definitely by all means do a 2-center and combine the main island with another island. Keep it accessible. Flying on the small aircraft in between islands is a little bit more challenging because the aircraft are very small. But if you stick to brand known resorts, nearly all of them would have disabled access rooms depending on the disability. I can always give you more information on that.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. There's a lot of things coming through about presentations in a way. I think the agents have really liked what you've given them this afternoon. They want to see you more. So can I ask each of you in turn? I'll start with you, Yumi. Have you any ideas about any times that you might be, or any sort of opportunities that you might be doing in terms of offering any fam trips?
Trip. Thank you for a request. At the moment, we have no plan yet, but we thank you for a request and we would like to consider that. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Betsie, how about you? Are you welcoming people, hopefully?
We are hoping that we will do one the calendar year. Probably a little bit ambitious, but we have it in our budget. So fingers crossed it does go ahead. Obviously, we've not booked anything. We've not sent invitations out or anything like that. Thailand's borders still are closed to international visitors until at least the end of June, which is tomorrow. So we're expecting an update on international travellers, and hopefully they'll start letting people in. And really, our team especially are going to be the first ones on the first flight out there. So the other thing I suppose it depends on is whether people are allowed to come on the fam trips, because we have spoken to a lot of tour operators who are saying, it may be tricky to actually get people to attend them. So lots of dependence if we're allowed to go, and if we have interest in it, fingers crossed we will get a group out this calendar year.
Okay, fantastic. Jane, I'm not going to ask you about fan trips because I have a feeling everyone will be inundating you for fan trips as well, as I'm sure they will to both Betsie and Yumi anyway. But I was going to ask something that's come in from John Paulfrey. A few requests. He's got a few requests for Bora Bora on some ambitious budgets, he says. Would you suggest Fiji as an alternative? Any suggestions on 4-star accommodation away from the main 2 islands?
I absolutely would. In fact, Fiji's always been known as, both having fantastic infrastructure, but also huge choice and crucially affordability, because you've got such a variety of ways to get there, lots of different airline partners, the combinations that you can do, and also what you can do when you get there. And in terms of different resorts, it depends on the budget. So, if you're looking at the really, top end luxury resorts, you've got Kokomo, you have Lathala Island, Royal Davui, these are really James Bond style resorts. But then you've got, down from that 4-star, 3-star, and living with the tribe, or going cruising, so that there is a lot of choice.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to give a question now, which is, again, I've got a number of people asking this, so I'm going to give you each in turn if I can do, but I'll be as quick as I can. If a customer is making up their mind about and they can't quite make up their mind, what are the 3 things you would tell them about your destination that would hopefully tip them over into booking it? I'll start with you, Betsie.
So I suppose the presentation covered a lot of our unique selling points, so the food, the landscapes and all of that. But in terms of why now, I think because Thailand's high season and really the best time to visit in terms of weather is between sort of November and February, so the UK winter. So I think for people who feel like they've been cheated out of a summer holiday this year, actually being able to still leave it a few months, but travel maybe in the new year is a great time to go to Thailand. And actually it will be some really amazing wildlife experiences. Like a lot of other destinations, actually having fewer tourists in Thailand has brought us some amazing new wildlife to some of the areas. So black-tip sharks have been spotted in Maya Bay and they haven't been there for many years. Turtles have been laying their eggs and hatching them in Koh Samui, which we've not seen for a long time. So actually going in the next sort of 6 months, 8 months or so will be a really good chance for you to make the most of that. And the food, I always just add the food in because it's my favourite.
Okay.
Someone was asking about the street food vendor. It's called J5 and it is in Bangkok, so definitely check that out.
Go there. Thank you ever so much, Betsie. Yumi, tell me the 3 things that you think make you stand apart.
Okay, Japan is wow. Everywhere you go, wow, because we are so unique, so different. So please feel confident to sell Japan, and also the hospitality will welcome you. So please come. And also we have good comparison like modern or tradition, and you can do winter sports and bird watching, everything. So please come to Japan.
Fantastic. Okay, finally, last but by no means least, Jane, give us the 3 things that you would say sort of push them in your direction.
Well, it definitely has a wow factor. It always comes down to people, place and experience. But above all, it's really pristine. And I think because the people are the way they are, I think we all need a bit of healing following COVID. And you've got so much space. So, touching on what Betsie's just mentioned, the wildlife's never been better. But yeah, there's a lot of space, so plenty of room. It's never crowded.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you everyone for answering the questions. Thank you all for actually writing in and putting your questions on. I know there's more that we haven't answered, and we are happy to pass those on to the suppliers and make sure that they see them, and they'll be happy to come back to you from the safety of their own homes and in their own time. Obviously, they'll come back to you with their answers, and we really appreciate you taking part today. So it's now competition time, which is where all the fun of the fair comes to the forefront. So here we go. We'll start our competition. As I said earlier, we have 3 partner prizes up for grabs. So agents, get your pens and paper and thinking caps on. Betsie, Yumi and Jane are about to tell us what their prizes are and what the questions are. So we're going to start again with Betsie. Please tell us what your prize is and what your question is, please.
So our prize is a Thai meal kit delivered to your door. So whoever is the lucky winner today will send you a list of Thai dishes to choose from. So Penang curry is on there, red curry, pad Thai. We'll deliver all of the ingredients to your home for you to make the dish. So our question is, it was mentioned very briefly in my presentation. So how many Buddhist temples are there in Thailand? So I'll give you 4 different options, either 1,000, 7,500, 20,500 or over 35,000.
Okay, before I go any further, please, please, please don't start writing into us now. I'll tell you how to answer the minute we've finished getting everyone's prizes and questions, because already our chat function and our Q&A function is going crazy. So yeah, don't answer right now, but we'll tell you how to answer it as soon as we've got the other prizes and questions. So now, Yumi, tell us your prize and what your question is, please.
Certainly. You know Muji, the Japanese shop all through the UK. And our prize for you is a portable and rechargeable aroma diffuser with a set of essential oil. So you can travel with it. So around you is oil, very nice smells around you. So our gift is the aroma diffuser. Okay. And our question is, what is the name of the discounted train pass available for travelers from overseas?
Okay, so just to recap, what is the name of the discounted rail pass available for visitors from overseas? That again was in Yumi's presentation. I remember it well. Okay, now Jane, please tell us your prize and your question, please.
Oh, quite an exciting prize, I think. So we're offering 2 economy Eurostar tickets to watch the Paris Sevens, an entry to the Paris Sevens one day next year. God willing, it'll be running. And we're also offering a few little runner-up prizes of pure Fiji Spa products. Our question is, which island in Fiji does the international dateline pass through?
Okay, so that was which island in Fiji does the international dateline pass through? And sorry, but I think say that you might need to find an extra prize, Jane, as well, because I'm particularly keen on going to the Sevens next year. So that will be great. Obviously, if I'm not welcome, that's fine. Please, everyone, can you please enter your details? You can enter your winning answers via the Travel Bulletin website now. So when I say now, we're going to wrap up in a few minutes' time. So all we'd ask you to do is to go via the Travel Bulletin website to travelbulletin.co.uk/webinar competition. And you've got until 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon to enter. All the lucky winners will be notified the next day, so on the 1st of July. And then we're obviously we want you to take part, so get involved in that. And thank you very much for listening to what we've been doing today. We're coming to the end of our Travel Bulletin Far East webcast. If you do want to watch it again, then please go to our website. It'll be up on there a bit later on this afternoon, probably in about an hour and a half's time, something like that. And you can go on there. Also, you can go via our Facebook page as well. It only it really does leave it to me now to thank our wonderful panelists. So please, a big thank you very much to Betsie, to Yumi, and to Jane for taking part. We wish everyone a wonderful rest of the day, and thank you very much for being involved.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for hosting as well. Thank you.
Thank you. No, it's
Cheers,
been
guys.
great.
Thank you ever so much.
Yeah, huge response. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you.